What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And before we get into today's video, I just want to say, if you're a fan of those legends of the game, then I would definitely recommend subscribing to the channel. Also, guys, if this is content that you enjoy, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd posterize that like button. And in the comments below, guys, I would love to hear a legend you'd like to see me do a build on, past or present. I'd be more than happy to do that build for you. And with that being said, let's get right into today's video. So guys, today we're doing another request build, and yeah, this one comes from Jordan as well. He's given me a lot of great builds, and I really do appreciate that. It's guys that I enjoyed watching playing, but I would have never necessarily thought about doing a build on, because in all honesty, I didn't know how many people would have shown interest or have interest. But hey, if I get that request, I'm going to do that build. There's a lot of requests that I'm working on still. So there's going to be many of these to come, and I'm looking forward to doing those. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to mix in any of my own builds like I normally do. I think I'm just going to do as many of these request builds as possible, get them out for you guys, and just kind of keep it going that way. But with that being said, guys, let's get right into this video. Now, guys, with this build, I will say you could do this build at small forward or power forward. I feel like in today's NBA, Wallace would be able to definitely play the 4 pretty well. Now, guys, there's a couple pie charts you could use for this. You could do the Hall of Fame finishing and Hall of Fame defense. You could do the one that's mostly defense with a little bit less finishing, or the one that's mostly finishing with a little bit less defense, which is actually the one that I'm going to use here, because I just feel like that is such a great pie chart for this. I tried all three of them during this build, and I really like this one, guys. Now, of course, with this, guys, I am going to go speed invert, because Wallace, he was a really good dunker. He was in the dunk contest for sure, and I want to say a couple times at least. I'm not sure exactly how many times. I know he was in it at least once, though. But yeah, he was a really good finisher at the rim. He was a pretty good defender too. Very solid defender. So we'll go ahead, and this is definitely the pie chart that I would do. You're still going to have really, really good speed for a small forward. Of course, we're going to go ahead and we're going to max out our close shot. We're going to max out our driving layup, our driving dunk, and our standing dunk. Now, we're also going to go ahead and we're going to max out our mid-range shot and our three-point shot. He wasn't a huge threat, but he was able to knock them down. I'm going to go ahead and max out the free throw as well. I'm going to put the pass accuracy just up to 60. I don't want to go too high on it. I really don't. I want to save some for the defense. And I'm going to put the ball handling all the way up, because he, for his size, he was able to handle the ball pretty well. We're going to go ahead and we're going to max out the perimeter, the lateral quickness, and the steal. And I'm going to go ahead and put the rest on the rebounding. And we'll just put the 1 on the block. And I don't think you get anything for this anywhere else. No, you don't. So we'll just put that one on the block and just leave it at that. You could just, whichever one works for you. We will go to find 6'7". We'll pull this down to 215. And of course, guys, with this build, because your focuses are going to be finishing and defense, I would definitely recommend maxing that wingspan out, because that's going to get you, huge pluses, for the things that you're looking for. Now, guys, when you look at this build is, and I will tell you, from playing with this build plays really, really nice. I know if you look at it, you're like, man, that mid-range shot is not great. That three-point shot isn't great. But listen, that mid-range shot is good enough to where you can knock it down if you're open. But where this build really, really comes alive is finishing at the basket. Guys, I was playing this. I did the test, of course, and I want to say it was I played on the Suns. I did play at the 4, but I played on the Suns, and I was dunking on Giannis. And it wasn't hard. I was I was throwing down, so this build really, it finishes really well around the basket. Playing this at the 4, guys, too, I will tell you, it does feel a bit overpowered. Because you've got such good defense that, like I said, I was holding my own against, without a doubt, the greatest power forward in the NBA today, Giannis. And I know some people's going to probably try to argue Kevin Durant, but listen, in my eyes, Kevin Durant, he's a small forward. He plays more like a small forward. He doesn't really play like a 4. Giannis, he's got that interior defense to go along with, the offensive ability that he has. So I like I said, I was just able to hold my own, despite being undersized and everything. So this plays really good at the 4 position. For your takeover, guys, it really depends on you. I like playing with lockdown, but I also like slasher a lot, and I feel like slasher really brings this alive. You've built a 2-way finisher, of course. That's kind of what I figured it would be when I was doing the build. But yeah, that's what it is. And that's kind of what Wallace's game was, right? He was a pretty good defender. I think he made all defensive team at least once, maybe twice, but I know for sure once. What we're going to do, though, we're going to do fearless finisher, of course. I like limitless takeoff on this. Now, if you do play this at the 4, I would recommend fast twitch and rise up too, especially if you're someone that you play in the post a lot. I like Lob City finisher on this build. It works so good on this build. I will say that. Posterizer is another one. That's the main reason why I was able to throw down on Giannis, is because of that. You could do also Slithery finisher or Acrobat. It really depends on you. I like Giant Slayer. I'm someone that, I want to focus when I do these builds, especially this type of build, I want to focus on the dunking, not so much the layups. So that's the reason why I'm choosing these as opposed to like Acrobat and Slithery finisher. But Slithery finisher is still a good one to have, because, it helps you avoid that contact. So we'll go with that one. Now for these guys, it really depends on you. Me personally, I always like to go Hot Zone Hunter if I've got 3. And I just put that on gold. For this one takeover, guys, it really, again, it all depends on you and how you want to play. Me personally, guys, I like doing Space Creator or Quick First Step. Both of those were ones that I like to use. Space Creator is going to be for more if you want to do that mid-range shot. That would help you out with that mid-range shot. You'll be able to create a little bit of space to knock it down. But Quick First Step, guys, is so deadly, especially if you play this at the 4 because of your speed. You're going to be able to get around most fours or power forwards with these. Clamps, Interceptor, Intimidator. Those are 3 that I feel like you want to do pretty much on any build that you do. That plays perimeter anyway. And guys, I would say, Hustler's a good one, and it kind of fits Wallace's, play style. He hustled, he was, I would say that, when I was thinking about doing this build, I was like, I bet when the Hornets drafted, Michael Kidd Gilchrist, they were hoping for a better version of a Wallace, right? And they didn't even get anywhere near a Wallace, But I'm imagining they were wanting something like that, because when he was coming in out of college, he was a defender, and things like that. So I'm guessing they were hoping for something like that. They just, unfortunately, that wasn't what they got. They got. He just, I don't know. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. So guys, these are ones that I would choose, and then I would just put that on there, or maybe with this, where this is small forward, I would just do chase down. That's a really good one too, where you're playing small forward, you can get some chase down blocks. But yeah, guys, there you have it. I feel like this is a really good Gerald Wallace build. You know, like I said, Gerald Wallace, man, he was one of those guys that he hustled. He went 110 all the time. He never was, he never made it to a superstar, of course, but he was a really good player. He was always a really solid player, I feel, and I just want to thank Jordan Fleming, for these requests, because I mean, guys, I can do the builds that I want to do all day, every day. And you get some guys, some of them you may like, some of them you may not. But, when you're giving me these requests, I know that I'm doing builds that, you're wanting to see. And even if it's not someone that was huge, guys, who was a superstar or anything, like a Gerald Wallace, who was a really good player, but he never quite reached that superstardom, and, was never on the level of, some of those other guys that we've done builds on. I don't care to do those builds. I'll be more than happy to do them. You guys are the ones that watch these videos, and I make these videos for you. So if it's somebody you want to see, even if it's not, because guys, and I've had a couple of comments on this, and I'll just let you guys know, I don't do these videos to get views or any of that. I'm not doing that to get rich or or anything like that. That's really not my goal here. I more or less do these videos, guys, because look, I've watched a lot of the guys like Uncle Demi, and Brother Jones and guys like that. And I've seen the builds that they've done, and with watching all of these, I was like, man, nobody talks about, like, I mean, there's a couple of legends that have been done, and I'm just like, nobody ever talks about guys, like legends that are lesser known, that isn't a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan. No one ever does builds on those guys unless they were like a huge superstar. Those builds never get done, and that's one of the reasons why I did this. I wanted to, guys like Bob McAdoo, guys like Pistol Pete, guys that maybe other people wouldn't do a build on because they were never that superstar, and their name wasn't well known, and it's not going to get, I wanted to be like, these are guys that I've always enjoyed, watching clips of and things like that. And guys from when I grew up, like, for me personally, like, I really like players like Richard Dumas, Dan Marley, of course I like Barkley, KJ, because I really like that Phoenix Suns team. But, outside of Barkley, there's not going to be any builds on any of those other guys. But those are players that you guys may enjoy, and you may have enjoyed watching too. And that's really the main reason why I do this. It's not for anything else. So, just because I don't want you to, I'm just basically saying this. I don't want you to feel like, I'm asking him to do a build that, no one would ever want to watch. That doesn't matter to me. If it's somebody that you enjoyed watching, or that you enjoy watching currently even, I'm going to do that build for you, because at the end of the day, guys, we're all basketball fans. We all have those players that we've enjoyed watching. One of my favorite players was Otis Thorpe. Very few people even, especially maybe the younger generation, would have no idea who Otis Thorpe was. But he was one of my favorite players. So, and I understand that, sometimes, and I know I'm kind of rambling here, and I don't want to make it a huge ramble. I'm just saying, basically, guys, there's no build too big or too small. I'll be more than happy to do that build for you if that's something that you want to see done. If it gets views, great. If it doesn't, if you're the only one that watches the video, that's fine by me too. Because that's not why I'm doing this. I do this, more or less as, a way to preserve some of those guys that a lot of people have forgotten about. Preserve their names. Not everyone was a Magic. There were some worthies out there, great players that people just forget. Because he played alongside Kareem and Magic. There was McHale's that played alongside Bird, DJs that played alongside Bird. really good players that people just forgot about because, there was a bigger star on that team. So that's the reason why I do this, guys. If it's someone that you enjoyed watching, I'll do that video. I don't care. I'll do the build. But yeah, guys, again, I'm sorry about the long ramble. I'm just wanting you to know that, don't think that there's a build that's too small that I won't do, because I'll do the builds regardless. And if I have to do research, because I'm still doing research for some Greece players that I've been requested to do builds for, don't think I forgot. I still remember you did those, you did those requests, and I'm going to do them. When it's players I haven't seen personally, and I haven't watched a lot of Greece players, I tend to, I want to do a little bit of research. I want to do as much research as I possibly can do. And the first two that I done, it was easy to find videos and things like that to kind of get an understanding of their play style. Some of the other ones, it's been a little bit more difficult, so I'm, just taking my time. But yeah, guys, there's just no build is too small for me. Just because other people may not have heard of this player, it doesn't matter. I've did builds that players that never even played in the NBA. And not just foreign players. I'm talking guys like Lynn Bias, Benji Wilson, guys like that, guys that never played in the NBA, but they showed a lot of potential. They just never made it there. So with that being said, guys, sorry about the ramble at the end there. I just again want to make sure that you're aware that, if there's someone you want to see me do a build on, let me know. I will do it. But with that being said, guys, if you liked the video, I would greatly appreciate it if you'd posterize that like button. If this is content that you enjoy, I'd recommend subscribing to the channel. And let me know in the comments below, guys. Any build, it doesn't matter, big or small, superstar, role player, bench warmer, it doesn't matter if they played in the NBA or if they didn't. I'll be more than happy to do that build for you. And with that being said, have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are. Have a good one.